Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. Caulfield Racing tomorrow. Group 1 racing from Caulfield. 1,000 Guineas Day. A good day. Plenty of black type going on down south. The cracking card for a Wednesday afternoon, as it generally does at the midweek point, or the midweek point of the Caulfield Carnival. Also a pretty deep card at Warwick Farm. We'll get into a bit later. But Beaver, how did the weekend treat you, buddy?
We've already had it, mate. I think
but I feel everyone else.
Yes, we had a bit of analysis off there, but some quality horses produced some quality runs. By the end of the day, it had treated me fairly well. Given a fair few of our tips, saluted and put some money in the bank. It was quite good. Very impressed with Animo. Was highly impressive. On Thunderstruck was good, and I thought Delphi was fantastic in the last, and probably put itself forward as a genuine Caulfield Cup chance.
Yeah, you did well nailing all of those for the punters. Nailed them down pretty well. Floating Artist was still in at the time, but
yes,
he nailed them down as the main chances, and had a little bit of luck in Sydney, and a couple got knocked over as well. But we live to fight another day as we head down to Caulfield.
Yes.
Well, quickly, what do you do off the Cox Plate now? Animo's going there. Promobile's going there. Zaki's going there.
Yeah, look, it's a big shout. I just don't know what to make of Zaki's run. I think what it did highlight to us that I think if you look in hindsight, Zaki, a lot of its runs, the races have been run to suit, where there hasn't been a lot of pressure, and certainly the ones it's been able to sit off the speed and just blow them away. But when the speed went on early there and it was put under pressure early, I don't know. Is it just an anomaly, or is there a chink in the armour there?
It hasn't got deep into a prep yet either. It's only been fairly lightly raced. Now it's going to be fourth up.
Yes.
I think the key is it's probably not. I think people just got a bit carried away with seeing the next Winks, and it's a good horse, but it's not that. Does Incentivize go there?
Well, it may well do now, given that they may have been inclined to try and stay away from Zaki if Zaki came out on the weekend and put 3, 4, 5 lengths on them. But now that Zaki's shown that there's certainly a chink in the armour, Incentivize the connections there might think that it's well within the grasp and a very winnable race. And we know that Incentivize, when the pressure goes on, is a very tough horse.
And for the fighters, and you'd have to think Moonee Valley would suit as well.
Yeah, you would do. You would do. Yep, and some of the, I certainly think Animo and Captivant, they were both outstanding runs, and I think both in the lightweights would be genuine Cox Plate chances. I think they both have the ability. They're both Group 1 winners, and I think that Cox Plate is certainly the type of race that would suit both of those horses as 3-year-olds.
They run a lot of play. The 3-year-olds run a lot of placings in the Cox Plate, like your All Too Hards. Last year or 2 years ago was at Castelvecchio. You get those ones that can posse up and at least run a place and are all live chances, I guess. So
and certainly with the no internationals, I think that certainly opens it up for them even further.
Yeah, definitely. But a good day's racing. Profondo was good. Paulili was good.
Outstanding. That's a serious racehorse, Profondo.
Yeah. I'd almost back him in a Cox Plate, actually. Big ask, start 3.
Yes.
But anyway, we've got that look forward to next Saturday. We've got our big preview coming up Thursday night with the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. A quick thought on the Everest field. Have you anything changed from the draw? I don't think there's anything scary.
Great field. Many chances. We'll talk about that Thursday. Let's get into tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get into this. All right. For progroupracing.com.au, check them out for their free tips and extensive guides. We head to Caulfield, where the rail is in the 9. There's storms forecast, but I believe it's going to be later in the evening, so it should be okay. We'll watch for any on-pace bias with the rail out, but might even be sort of up on pace and a bit off the rail as well. So we'll see how it all plays out. We kick off with a benchmark 70 over the mile, small field here. And I thought that, or just at the price, but I thought Rhinoceros Was good at Mid Valley last time. Meets a similar field here. Meets Capital Legend who beat home. I know the bias that night was as bad as some people thought early. It definitely wasn't a disadvantage, but race one Caulfield, it might be a similar setup, and there's no other pace here. So I thought it can get control again and be very hard to run down again. So I was opening with race one, number one at Caulfield. What are you doing, Via?
Yeah, look, those two, certainly Capital Legend and Rhinoceros, there's form around both of those. Capital Legend gets the sort of 1.5, I think, shift in weights in its favour for a very small margin. I've gone actually for Cheerful Moment. I like its form that it's brought here. Its first up run in Victoria, I thought was very good, and probably with some open air, potentially wins that race. So I'm thinking it can sit off the pace here and get over the top of the other two. At the $5 mark, I think that presents good value.
Yeah, cool. And nothing wrong with different form in any race most of the time. Race two, the 2,000 meter Group 3 Coonji Cup. What are you doing here?
Oh, look, mate, I think the favourite here is a Moral, Floating Artist, $1.85. I think that's a fair price, to be honest. I thought it'd probably be a little bit shorter. They saved it they were scratched on the weekend to save them for this, just hoping for a little bit of more give in the track. Winner here goes to Caulfield Cup. And I think if it wins this comfortably, it stamps itself as a genuine Caulfield Cup chance.
Yeah, agree. Obviously on top, and I will very likely be having it high in my numbers when we do Thursday show on the 3-day backup. So yeah, one of the best of the day tomorrow across the country, Floating Artists for me. Race 3 is a benchmark 78, again over the 2,000 meters. This is maybe a little bit more of an open affair, but I think Alcyon's fine with prep. It resumed with a nice win. Went 3 weeks back and was not far off Mr. Brightside, who's won at Ballarat again impressively since, and I think will run well. And the main danger, which the market agrees with, is Mancaine returning down to Melbourne off a couple of Sydney runs where Mac will be against it again. It's probably going to be a long way back and have to make a long run to catch some of these. But yeah, the market's in that order. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think you're right with Alcyone. Any horse running a length to Mr. Brightside at the moment is flying. It's in superlative form. So third up, I think Oliver Aboard and Cummings suggest it'll run really well. I thought the main danger was Durston, to be honest. Its first up run at Flemington was pretty good. It got well back in the field and finished off nicely behind Hosier and Turidan. Prior to that, had some really good form at Ascot and in Great Britain. 62 kilos is, as much as you want to see these horses carrying, but I think he could probably improve and run a good race. The other one you mentioned, just don't know if it wins very often. So I'm happy to suggest it'll probably finish maybe in the placings again, but I'll leave it out and go the other two.
Cool. Race 4, the benchmark 84. It's time out to the 2,400. A lot of these offer a gap between runs, which is interesting. What are you thinking about this race?
Yeah, a lot of coming off winning form as well. So interestingly enough, look, I've got a big rap on Smoking Romans. It's a horse that I've backed a number of times, and we know it'll stay all day. It can take up the running. It can sit just off the pace. It's a good horse. 61 kilos. It's weighted right up to its best here. But look, I'm going to go Smoking Romans. I just think it's a bit more progressive than some of the rest of them.
Fair call. I'm just taking it on this. Is it 7 weeks between runs? But a lot of these are off a gap. It does feel like a horse that'll head to that the race on Melbourne Cup. The used to be called the Long Black, whatever it's called now. The 2800 on the Tuesday. But I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, the other staying race on the card feels like one of those horses run quite well there. Look, I end up going to accountability off the 2 wins in Sydney. They're not the flashiest of, it's not the best of Sydney form. It beat Mancini, we just mentioned, but this isn't the best of races. Definitely respect Smoking, and it's a rightful favourite. And potentially by the time they jump over, I'll probably will have backed it. The other one I want to mention, $21, Heir to the Throne. She's very strong. She's always honest. And I think we'll
Yep.
give, off the 4 weeks between runs, we'll give a fair sight here. And is a good each way bet if you're looking for a play at odds. I was just going with the Waller factor here. Race 5, 1400 meter benchmark 84. How's this for a race? I'm going to go spec 1 here for Chris Waller again, Illa Ferre. Come over from the New Zealand Group 1s, chasing Amaralina and a couple of those sort of horses. And nice enough trial in Sydney. Interesting to have brought it straight down here. And just this race is ready to be taken by something a bit new. I was a bit sick of the rest of them. Imperial Lad will run along on pace, and be honest as always if there's any on pace bias there. And just thought Agreeable was going to get back and do what Agreeable does. And a bit like Frankie Pinot's got the best finish in the race, but it's going to be a long way back as well from gate 11. So I was just looking away from them a little bit. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was sort of thinking very similar to you, except I landed on Good and Proper. It now gets to 3rd up. Its first up run was very good, behind a couple of decent horses in Turath and Enavista. And it was probably slightly disappointing last start. Again, by Enavista, it was only 3 lengths off them. Had a few excuses there. The jockey, I think that there was some sort of reports the jockey felt that the horse may have been in season or something and just didn't have the mind on the job. So last preparation was very consistent, ran some really good races, particularly at Caulfield. I'm looking for some improvement here, and races on the pace, may be able to get away with it.
Cool, yeah.
I was a bit concerned with you with Frankie, flying at the moment, and very consistent, but it's going to have to give him a start.
Yeah, and just it's one thing doing that at Sandown, it's another thing getting to Caulfield and trying to reel a whole field in. The Group 3 Blue Sapphire Stakes for the 3-year-olds. Profiteers back again. What's he going to do with him?
Yeah, look, has to show something a bit more before I'm going to back him at $2.70. I'm going to go with Extreme Warrior from the Price Kent stable. I thought it was a fantastic return at Echuca. It was long odds on, but certainly taken there to get a win. Braindon, prior to that, had some really good form in some very good races, behind the likes of General Bow, Animo. I think this horse has got some ability, and I'm just looking for something with a bit of upside, and taking on I don't know where it's at, Profiteer.
Yeah, I'm taking on as well. I've got Minx Mogan on top. I liked its win at Moonee Valley. Had to buff it out and got held up and still exploded when it got the chance. So that was pretty impressive. The win before that at midweek grade in Sydney was good as well. I just think it's got a bit of upside. And I think we've probably seen the ceiling on most of these now. And except Extreme Warrior, obviously we haven't there. The Profiteer can forgive the fact it was stuck outside lead on a hot pace, first up in a Group 1, but I just don't think its 2 wins were wet track restricted races, and we haven't seen anything since really. And I think it might have been caught up with a little bit here. So I think there's enough pressure here with the likes of Jigsaw and Ranveer where it's not going to get its own way either. So I was looking away from it and happy to play around those next 2 in the market, and pretty keen they'll both run quite well actually. So you've summed up Extreme Warrior pretty well there too. The Group 1000 guineas over the mile for the 3-year-old fillies. This for a race. What are you doing in the Group 1?
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? Tricky little affair. I've landed on Zuzarella.
Okay.
I was slightly disappointed last start. I thought it looked like it was looming up to go past them and just didn't quite run on.
Mm.
I think it'll be better suited by the Caulfield track and Gate 2. I think it could probably sit a little bit closer, had to get further back last start and had to unleash a pretty sustained run. I think it'll be further improved by that 1600, but I think this might be a bit more to its liking with a bit more sit and sprint here, closer to the pace. So on that basis, I've gone for Zuzarella, and I also think Barb Raider is a huge chance as well. So I think it just keeps improving. Stepped up to this 1800 last start and won pretty comfortably. Comes back to 1600 here. I think that's okay. I think it's set to run well as well.
Yeah, the horse Barb Raider beat was disappointing at Adelaide on the weekend, but I did win the race. I've actually just noticed its favourite, but I end up coming back to Hinged again, tipping a good day for Chris Waller, but finished along the fence inside the flight next to Never Been Kissed, who actually I thought overperformed on Saturday. It was very good in the Group 1 Never Been Kissed. Before that, Hinged had, and I hadn't really paid much attention to a horse, was doing some pretty good things up in Queensland. It was pretty impressive before it came to Chris Waller. I think it'll run well here, and I kept looking at Swift Witness, led him up in the flight, and it was still held on okay on the pace, but and I just think it'll run well here. I think it's going to be on pace and give you a decent sight, as most of Gays tend to do. But Hinged on top, respecting Zuzarella, maybe a little bit disappointing last time, but might have just been a flat run and a couple other chances. But yeah, I'm with the Sydney horses again, as I tend to find a bit at this time of year down south. We finished the day with the Ladies' Day Vase over the 1600 metres. Another cracker here. How are you taking us home?
Yeah, tricky little affair to take us home here. I've landed on the top weight Only Words. Third up here, but it was absolute moral beaten last start. It never got a run anywhere down the straight at Moonee Valley. Was climbing all over the back of them. If it gets a run, it wins that race. I've got no doubt about it. And that was an okay race. You know, horses like So You Assume. So I think from Gate 3, it's going to get a really good posse up here, and I think it's drawn to get a really good run. Super hard to beat.
Most ridiculous price of the day is number 7 Aidensfield. It's 30-1. It was beaten twice. Last 3 starts, 2 of them were beaten by track bias and a bad gate, with tremendous runs. Last time went along the fence and chased down a Visto, who would probably be favourite in this race, I would guess. And I'm happy to take 30-1 tomorrow to find out. Aidensfield, Cyrillia Miss is talented, has to step up, and you've nailed Only Words. There's a couple here that I've been on lately that I'm happy to pen. I think we've seen enough of Butter Chicken where I'm jumping off. I think Ecumenical we've seen enough of now. Shout out again to Carol, who's got a Harmony Rose going around here, but I don't think she's ever recovered from that time she sent the cracking pace and got run over by Hungry Heart in the Vinery. Feels like might have gutted the poor girl, but I wish her all the best. Hope we see the best of her tomorrow.
Yeah, well, this is the test, right? Because
if she's at her best, she wins this by 3 lengths.
Yeah, but we haven't seen that for some time now, and this, if it doesn't run well in this, then it could be finished.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, keen at Aidensfield is a great bet at that price. Let's sum up for progretracing.com.au your best and value at Caulfield.
Yeah, my best comes up in race 2, number 3, Floating Artist. And my value comes up in race 8, number 1, Only Words.
My best is the same, Floating Artist. Best of the day across the country. And my value will make it in the last Aidensfield at the 30s, just so I've got something to float about if it gets up. We head to Warwick Farm, where it's currently soft. Not a lot of big rain around tomorrow. It plays softish again tomorrow. Worst Side of Dead. And interesting little card. We kick off with a maiden race over the 1,200 metres. A short price favourite, Beaver. How are you starting us off here?
Yeah, it looks like it's the horse to beat here. The rest it's the only unraced one, and it's the one that they've got the cash on. So, yeah, I'm tipping Espiona to be the horse to beat.
Yeah, last two trials were sensational, but tried well twice, put away, had a fantastic trial again, and comes here and doesn't have to beat a lot. I think we start off with a shorty, but a goodie. Race 2, another maiden, this time over the 1400 meters. Plenty of Waller going around here. The two that lead the mark are the two chances. Mystic Mermaid debuted at Wyong was pretty good, and Gracilly Styler, who I'll get right at some point, was decent enough, leading him up outside lead in the Abel Wheelie race. He looks like he's got a bit of talent, but I think, they're the two to beat here. As the market indicates that, so I probably haven't told anyone too much. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I struggled a little bit with this race. But yeah, you're probably right. I think they look to be the two in the market that have shown the best form. Probably slightly leaning to the number 5, Grace Estilia. It was a tough run last start, but stuck on okay. Wallace McDonald's hard combination to go past.
Race 3, 1100 meter benchmark 72. What have you got for us?
Yeah, I've landed on French Marine from the Lee stable, third up. I thought it won quite well last start, although it was at Armidale. Most of these have got the bush form. It was well backed and beat Deploys Alone, which goes all right. And then prior to that, ran quite nicely in a race at Musselbrook. So I think this is a horse that's got a little bit more improvement in it. Third up, drawn well.
I'm with the favourite here, Joel. Had to chase from a long way out on the leaders track at Rose Hill when the field separated quite early. Did all the chasing. It comes back here third up to, this is a country race. And
it is.
J-Mac. So, keen to bet on Joel. I think it will round these up. Your danger's got to be unexposed, which might be like a race French Marine. But very keen to back Joel tomorrow. Race 4 over the mile, benchmark 78. Another tricky little one. What have you got here?
Yeah, look, I've landed with Grand Rumor.
Yeah.
Third up, I think this is the weakest affair it's met in a fair amount of time. So it was just over 2 lengths behind Ellsberg last start, and Ellsberg's come out and franked its form again. It was very good. And then was only a length and a half behind Geiston's King of Sparta in a fairly good event at Randwick. So I think, the step up to the mile suits. Looking out for this distance, third up. Really good bet. I just think this is a pretty average affair.
Yeah, I'm with Grand Rumor as well. She got bumped at the start back at Rose Hill. Then again, similar to the last story, had to chase from a long way out on that leaders track. And even though she's got an 8 next name, she was the best of the finishers and out wide. And I think, again, comes back to a field she can round up quite easily. So, again, happy to take the price there. Race 5, benchmark 72, 2,400 meter race. I won't be taking any prices in this race. Beaver, will you?
Nah, awful affair. Didn't like it much at all. If I was given some money and someone said you got to have a bet, I'd probably back Arabellini. But not a race that given some of the other races on the day that I'll go looking to have a bet in.
No, same. I'll leave that for others. My race 6 is the 1,400 meter benchmark 72, short price here coming from the bush as well. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it'll win this. It's skinny enough, but I think it's certainly good enough. James McDonald's jumped on. I think it's got some ability here. Won a barrier trial pretty easily, and then it's won all its races in good time. And I know it's come from Scone and Nowra and Goulburn, but looks too good for these.
Yeah, I've got on top of it. Feels short coming from there, but it looks it's got a little bit to offer here. If it's going to get beaten, it'll be by Parachuter or Magella, but I think she's here to run well, and J-Mac's on, and apparently everything J-Mac gets on starts favourite these days. So
that's
a lot of them win too.
Probably a bit shorter. Yeah, that's right.
Race 7, benchmark 78 over the 1,200 meters. This is a tricky finish to the card. Do you like anything?
Oh yeah, not a great race. It's not the last race, is it? Race 7, isn't there? Race
Second
8.
last. Yeah, we've got another one.
Yeah. Again, I've settled on ex Celtic. Bowman's aboard. I think, yeah, like last start, I think it was a fairly decent run, and it had 61 kilos on its back at Rose Hill. So it gets a bit of weight relief there. And prior to that, it's been pretty consistent in fairly decent races. Look, I think he can give a bolt sight. Drawn in gate 11 probably suits it because it probably looks to come down the middle of the track anyway. So, yeah, if it can get the right run, worth a shout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no real confidence. I end up settling on Promotions, who's been going around a little bit better stuff. Now goes from King to Nash. And I think we'll fix in here okay. And I think Zorocat can bounce back and run well enough. Just about sits right on Partner's Hammer and might give you a side around double figure mark. But yeah, not a race I'm overly thrilled to play in. And we wrap the day up with similar sort of race over 1100 meter, benchmark 72. Anything for us here?
Look, I like 6 again. $4 mark, $4 favourite. Its first up win was excellent at Newcastle over the short of 900, so it gets up a bit of distance here, but absolutely burnt them after a really good trial. And last preparation only had the one start before it was put out, and it was well tried there. So it's trialled every time it's trialled well. I think it beat Gravina by 5 lengths back earlier this year in a trial. So I think the horse looks like it's got a bit of ability. I'm surprised it's about $4.
Yeah, I think
it's good. I'll be on.
I think it's a bit. I think it's longer, and maybe it's about the right price because sometimes weird things happen in those 900 meter Newcastle races.
Yes.
We've seen Britain won one by 5 lengths and it's gone places, but I still think it's a talented horse. I think it'll run well here. I went looking for Anne again, who went really well on debut, then finished second behind Paul Ely in a group race, tipped out after the Gosford trial. Was a 1,000 meter trial. I think it just peaked on its fitness because I don't know if it trialed that well or whether it just ran a fitness over the longer trial, but I'm going to give it a chance here at double figures. I think it just might be a talented one and fits here. Ruby Kisses comes from weaker stuff too, but he's going well, and 6 again will run well. So they're sort of the 3 I'll look at to finish the day, but a bit of value there away from the favourite, I think. Your best and value for progretracing.com.au at Warwick Farm.
Yeah, my value bet comes up in race 7, number 2, Exceltic. And my best bet comes up in race 4, number 6, Grand Roman.
Very good. My best I will make, as I just close my page. Oh, it's Joel. Joel will win. I think she'll round them up. And I'll make my value, and again in the last, will run well there. What have you got up north for us?
Up north. How could I not have something up north? I've got a few up north. Race 1, number 1, Sharjaya. It'll turn the tables on the favourite, Berry Cart. In the second race, Mount Fuji will be super hard to beat. And then my next bet comes up. Let me just find it. Race 4, number 8, A River Somewhere. I'm willing to forgive last start. I tipped it. Just something didn't go right there. It'll bounce back and be super hard to beat. And then my next bet comes up in race 7, number 5, Volunteer. I tipped it last start, and I'm happy to go back again.
Yeah, quick back up.
It's a maiden stepping up, so but around $6. I think that's worth keeping the cash on.
Yeah, Waller's got a couple there. Yeah, right. 3. Beautiful. Good job, mate. As we always say, check out progretracing.com.au for their free tips and extensive guide. Good luck tomorrow, Beaver. Get stuck into that form for the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. Look forward to discussing that on Thursday night. Good luck tomorrow, punters. Good luck tomorrow, some friends of the show. Thanks, everyone, for the support the last few weeks. Thanks to guys like Toby and Matt that have written in and given us a bit of a cheerio. So thanks for that support. Good
Yes.
luck to Carol with Harmony Rose and Chester with Grand Marore, good friends of the show who have vested interest. Hope they both run very well. And Beaver, get some rest, and I will see you for the Caulfield Cup and Everest chat Thursday. Catch you then.